Latest news. Soo Kai's family reveals shocking secrets about Tan Songyun to police. Hidden truth exposed. The city never truly sleeps, but tonight Beijing feels wide awake for a different reason. Neon lights flicker like anxious heartbeats against the rain-slicked pavement. Outside the Central Police Bureau, a restless crowd gathers, umbrellas clashing in the wind, camera flashes slicing through darkness. At the heart of it all is a name that carries both adoration and controversy, Tan Songyun. And another name, equally beloved, equally scrutinized, Soo Kai. But this isn't a film premiere or a red carpet event. This is something heavier, something that makes even seasoned reporters whisper instead of shout. Soo Kai's family has just stepped into the building, escorted by two plainclothed officers. Their expressions are carved from stone. The storm begins. The heavy doors swing shut behind them. Reporters press their ears against cold glass. Inside, the corridor stretches long and empty, the kind of place where secrets echo. Soo Kai's mother, usually radiant and poised, now trembles as she grips a silk scarf at her throat. The scarf was a gift from Kai on her birthday, ivory with hand-painted peonies, but tonight it feels more like a lifeline. Please, she says quietly, we can't let this fester any longer. The lead investigator gestures toward a dimly lit conference room. A recorder clicks on. The hum of a ceiling fan sounds louder than it should. Soo Kai's father clears his throat. His voice, deep and steady on movie sets or family gatherings, wavers. Tan Songyun, she isn't who everyone thinks she is. The words hang in the air like smoke. Outside in the rain, across the street, Tan Songyun waits in the shadow of an old sycamore tree. The drizzle has soaked through her beige trench coat. In her hands, she clutches a small silver locket. One Soo Kai had given her the night they filmed their first big scene together. Inside is a photo of the two of them, laughing mid-spin, caught between takes. Her phone vibrates with alerts, fans speculating, headlines screaming, distant friends asking if she's okay. She ignores them all. Her eyes stay fixed on the police station doors. A group of fans huddled under umbrellas recognizes her. Instead of approaching, they light candles on the curb, their small flames dancing in defiance of the wind. One fan whispers, "We believe in them." Another holds up a sign, rain-blurred but readable. Love can't be erased. A secret from the past. Inside, Soo Kai's sister, a woman rarely seen in public, takes a shaky breath. Years ago, she begins, our family was in a terrible car accident. A stranger pulled my brother from the wreckage before the ambulance arrived. We never knew who it was. Later, we found out it was Tan Songyun. The room goes silent. Pens stop moving. Even the hum of the ceiling fan seems to pause. So why now? The investigator asks gently. Soo Kai's father lowers his gaze. Because we thought she disappeared afterward out of guilt. We misunderstood. We thought she took something from us. A keepsake. A promise. His voice cracks. We were wrong. The twist. Tan Songyun shifts her weight outside, oblivious to the conversation within. She watches a taxi glide past, its headlights catching the tears she can't wipe fast enough. Her phone buzzes again, this time with a message that makes her heart lurch. It's from Soo Kai. But he's supposed to be sedated at the hospital after his recent injuries. The text reads, "Don't believe what you hear. I'm fighting for us." She gasps. A paparazzo across the street snaps a photo at that exact moment, her wide-eyed disbelief under the halo of a streetlight. By morning, it'll be plastered across the internet with headlines that don't tell half the story. A family divided. Back in the conference room, Soo Kai's mother places a trembling hand on the table. We blamed her for so many things, things that were never her fault. We convinced ourselves she had hidden intentions, that she was using him. But now I see she saved him not once, but many times. She pulls a faded envelope from her handbag. Inside is a photograph, burned around the edges, from the night of the accident. In the corner of the image, a figure silhouette is just barely visible, Tan Songyun, younger, her face smudged with soot, cradling a barely conscious Soo Kai. The lead investigator leans forward. Why reveal this now? Because, Sue Kai's sister says through tears, the world deserves to know she isn't the villain people think she is. And if Kai doesn't wake up soon, he may never get the chance to tell her himself. A sudden uproar. Outside, someone in the crowd of fans receives a leaked snippet of the testimony. Within minutes, social media explodes. Hashtags trend globally. Hashtag stand with Songyun. Hashtag Sukai family truth. And hashtag hidden heroine revealed. Some supporters cheer, relieved to hear evidence of Tan's loyalty. Others rage at the family's past suspicion, their betrayal of trust. News vans arrive in droves, their satellite dishes piercing the night sky. Tan Songyun's breaking point. A police officer opens the door and steps out to check the crowd. In that split second, Tan Songyun locks eyes with him. It's enough. She strides across the street, rainwater splashing around her ankles, and steps into the building. Cameras flash, reporters shout questions, but she doesn't flinch. In the hallway, she pauses outside the conference room, her chest rising and falling. She can hear Sue Kai's mother crying softly. Taking a deep breath, she pushes the door open. The family turns. Shock floods the room. For a heartbeat, no one speaks. Then Tan says, her voice shaking but steady, "If there's more to tell, let me be here to hear it." The revelation. Sue Kai's father, overcome, stands and bows his head. "We're sorry. We were blinded by grief. The secrets we revealed, they were half-truths, born of misunderstanding." He pulls another object from his coat, a small jade pendant. This was Kai's. After the accident, it went missing. We thought you kept it, but we just found it in a box of evidence tonight. All these years, we blamed you wrongly. Tan Songyun's knees nearly buckle. The weight of years of suspicion, whispers, and judgment collapses in an instant. "I never stopped loving him," she whispers, "even when it hurt." The world watches. Meanwhile, live streams from outside capture every flicker of light through the conference room blinds. Fans narrate every movement they glimpse. Someone's hugging. Wait, is that her? Did they forgive her? The internet becomes a chorus of anxious hearts. The cliffhanger. Suddenly, a phone rings. The hospital. Sue Kai's condition has changed. The family and Tan Songyun bolt from their chairs. The rain seems heavier now, drumming on the streets like war drums. They pile into a black sedan, wipers barely keeping up with the storm. As the car speeds through the city, Tan Songyun clutches the locket, praying silently. Sue Kai's mother reaches across the seat, squeezing her hand. For the first time, there's no anger, only shared fear and fragile hope. The hospital looms ahead, fluorescent lights glowing like beacons. In the ICU, machines beep steadily, but Sue Kai's eyelids flicker. A nurse whispers he moved. Tan Songyun steps to his bedside, tears tracing paths down her cheeks. "Kai," she whispers, "I'm here. I always was." His fingers twitch, curling just enough to brush hers. It's not a miracle, not yet, but it's enough to send a shockwave of relief through the room. Outside, reporters crowd the hospital gates. News alerts ping on phones across the globe. Sue Kai shows signs of waking after family confession. And somewhere, deep within the storm of flashing cameras and trending hashtags, one undeniable truth takes shape. The love between Sue Kai and Tan Songyun, tested by tragedy, suspicion, and time, remains unbroken. But the world doesn't yet know the full story, because the real secret, the one that could rewrite everything, is still waiting to be revealed when Sue Kai opens his eyes. The ICU's fluorescent lights flickered against sterile white walls, casting long shadows across Sue Kai's still form. Outside, the storm howled like a wounded beast, slamming sheets of rain against the hospital's glass facade. The city buzzed with rumors, but inside that room, the world narrowed to the rhythm of one fragile heartbeat. Tan Songyun didn't move from her chair beside his bed. Her fingers, still damp from the rain, clung to his hand as though holding him tethered to this world. Each beep of the monitor felt like a victory. Each flicker of his eyelids was a promise. Su Kai's mother stood in the doorway, watching Tan's unwavering devotion. It struck her. This was the woman she had doubted, the woman she had judged, and here she was, keeping vigil like family. Songyun, she said softly, we were wrong. Tan didn't look up. This isn't about blame anymore, she whispered. This is about bringing him back. Cameras at the gate. Outside the hospital gates, the press swarmed like moths to flame. Tripods tangled, reporters shouted questions into microphones, and live streams broadcast every minute detail. The flicker of a light in Kai's room, the shadow of a nurse passing by, even the faint reflection of Tan's silhouette through the blinds. On social media, fans were in tears. Hashtag #WakeUpSukai trended worldwide. Clips of Tan's soaked, tear-streaked face outside the police station became a rallying cry for forgiveness. One fan tweeted, "She saved him then, she's saving him now. Don't doubt her love again." A whisper of movement. Kai's fingers twitched again, this time with more strength. Tan's breath hitched. She leaned in close, her voice breaking. "Kai, it's me. If you can hear me, squeeze my hand." Nothing. Then barely a squeeze. Her tears spilled freely, but her smile was radiant. "He's fighting," she said, loud enough for everyone in the room to hear. Su Kai's sister gasped and grabbed her phone, accidentally dropping it in her excitement. "He's coming back," she whispered, half to herself, half to the universe. The family's silent apology. Su Kai's father stepped closer, his proud facade cracking. He placed a hand on Tan's shoulder, a gesture of truce, of gratitude. "You were the light in the darkness all along," he admitted, his voice rough with emotion. Tan finally looked up, her eyes meeting his. There was no triumph in her gaze, only quiet pain. "I never wanted to be right," she said. "I just wanted him safe." For the first time, the tension that had haunted them dissolved, replaced by something fragile yet hopeful. Flashback. The hidden truth. In that moment of unity, Su Kai's mother revealed another detail she hadn't shared at the station. She reached into her handbag and pulled out a small USB drive. "There's something on here," she whispered, "something we found in the accident's evidence box. It's a dashcam recording. It shows Tan risking her life to pull Kai from the wreckage. We were too blinded by grief to watch it until now." Tan's breath caught. Memories of that night flooded back. The smell of burning rubber, the hiss of leaking gas, Kai's limp body in her arms. His mother continued, tears brimming. "When the police saw this tonight, they understood everything. They know now, Tan didn't steal from us. She saved us." The world reacts. As dawn crept over the city, the footage leaked online. Millions watched as a younger Tan Songyun, her face streaked with soot, carried an unconscious Su Kai away from flames. The video was grainy but unmistakable. Fans who had doubted her flooded comment sections with apologies. "We misjudged her. She's been his guardian angel all along. This changes everything." The hashtags morphed. Hashtag Tan the heroine. Hashtag True Love Prevails. Hashtag Su Kai Forever. Back at the hospital. The news reached the hospital before sunrise. Nurses whispered in the corridors. A few fans gathered outside began singing softly, a love ballad Kai and Tan once performed together on a variety show. Their voices drifted through the window, fragile but powerful. Tan stroked Kai's hand, her voice a tender whisper. "You hear that, Kai? They still believe in us." A faint sound, a sigh, a murmur, escaped his lips. Everyone in the room froze. Tan leaned closer, holding her breath. Then, in the faintest rasp, Su Kai whispered her name. "Songyun." The room erupts. Gasps filled the air. His sister clapped a hand over her mouth. His mother broke into sobs. Su Kai's father turned away, tears threatening to escape. Tan's heart pounded. "I'm here," she said, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I never left." Kai's eyelids fluttered open, just barely, but enough for his gaze to find hers. And even in that half-conscious state, the corner of his mouth twitched upward in a ghost of a smile. The flash of cameras. As word spread that Su Kai had spoken, Reporters outside went into a frenzy. Photographers climbed lampposts to get a better angle. Helicopters circled overhead. Every news outlet in the region pushed breaking updates. But inside the room, the chaos didn't exist. It was just Tan, Kai, and the family he'd fought so hard to keep together. A promise renewed. Kai's weak fingers tightened slightly around hers. "Don't let go," he whispered, his voice like fragile glass. "Never," she vowed. The family watched silently, understanding now that their previous mistrust had nearly destroyed something beautiful. Kai's sister reached for Tan's free hand, and without hesitation, Tan took it. The three of them formed a fragile circle around the man they all loved, the man who, against all odds, was finding his way back to them. Outside the door, just beyond the ICU door, a nurse held back tears. A doctor cleared his throat, pretending not to be moved. Down the hall, a janitor paused his mop, whispering a quiet prayer. The hospital, once just a backdrop for tragedy, had become a cathedral of second chances. To be continued. The world still doesn't know what Kai will reveal when he's strong enough to speak. The family's confession, the leaked dashcam, the whispered name, these are just fragments of a much larger story. As reporters scramble for angles and fans keep vigil under umbrellas, one truth has already taken root.